Hello my darlings, welcome to your practice. I'm Dionne, an honour to be here with you. Thank you for joining me. I really hope this one is going to be useful. This is for those of you who carry stuff on your shoulders. That might be physically or metaphorically. Whatever it is, you're welcome here. So this is part of what's known as the Franklin method. I often teach this in workshops and classes because so many of us have a lot of things going on in the shoulders, and it's a really nice quick way of kind of releasing some tension. So before we get into it, let's first take a little imaginary screenshot of our shoulders. I mean, sometimes we can even look in a mirror and see that our shoulders are sort of up by our ears, but let's see if we can do that internally. So if it helps, you can close your eyes, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, don't worry about it, it's all good. Maybe try and lower your gaze. We're just trying to encourage the eyes to soften. Another area we can hold tension and stress. So see if you can lower the gaze, maybe close the eyes. Just take a couple of breaths, welcome yourself here. Thank yourself for showing up. And then just start to notice your shoulders in space right now without changing anything at all. Just notice. How do they feel? Can you identify the position? Do they feel even in space? Are they on the same plane? Or do they feel like one is different to the other? Maybe one is higher, lower, further forward, further back. Again, without needing to change anything or adjust anything, just notice in space. What's the position like of the shoulders? Do they tend to round forward? Are they rolled back? Maybe you can notice the kind of sensation of the shoulders. Do they feel quite solid? Do they feel soft? Are they a bit of a chunky mix? Okay. And when you're done, very gently start to peel the eyes open. So there's no kind of right or wrong way for your shoulders to be. We're just noticing so that we can then check back in after this little exercise and we can see if there's been any change. And there doesn't have to be change, but there's always change, right? Because change is constant. Okay, so with this one, let's start on your left shoulder. So you're going to take your opposite hand, your right hand, that you'll need for this one, and I'll show you from the front, and I'll also rotate so that you can see. So with your left shoulder, shrug it up towards your ear, then take the right hand, and then you're going to grip somewhere on the shoulder. So I'm just going to rotate a little bit so that you can see it. You're going to imagine that your shoulder is a big wet sponge. So you've just dunked that sponge in water and you're about to pull it out of the water. So shoulder up, grab the sponge and squeeze the sponge. So you squeeze as hard as you like. Don't hurt yourself though. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then release. Release the hand, release the shoulder. So that's the movement. We're going to do that 3 times on each side, but just stay on the same shoulder for now. So lift, squeeze, and then release. Lift, squeeze, squeeze your sponge, and release. And then feel. Okay. Don't know about you. Don't know about you, but my shoulders feel extremely lopsided. I feel like one is much lower than the other. It may or may not be the case for you, but yeah. So just a word on the squeezing of the sponge. You can squeeze in the same area or you can move around the squeeze. It's up to you. Another way that you can check in if it's difficult to kind of take the snapshot in your mind is that you can use your hand, which is a wonderful tool. So we're going to do that on the other shoulders just so that you can kind of have alternative ways of getting into this practice so you can take this and apply this in your everyday life. Okay, so we're going to move on to the other shoulder, so opposite hand to the shoulder, and let's just do our snapshot by feeling around the shoulder. Just feeling in space, like what's going on here? How does it feel? So you may well notice, if you're anything like me, that there's some crunchy bits, there's some kind of knotted balls. And there might be some tender parts. And if you identify tender parts or places that are kind of saying, yeah, that's good, touch me there, that might be a good place for you to squeeze your sponge, okay? So let's do this side. Lifting the shoulder up, grab your sponge and squeeze, 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 squeeze. So we're creating tension in order to release tension. Okay, so a couple more rounds of that. Lifting the shoulder up, maybe you adjust where the hand goes in space, you grab a different part of the shoulder. Squeezing, squeezing. We're looking to grab the flesh as opposed to, like, you know, bone. And then release. And last one. Of course, you can do many more rounds of this, as many as you need. But this is just a quick example for you. Release the tension. Come back to neutral. Maybe close your eyes, maybe lower your gaze. And give yourself a check-in once more. Just feel where the shoulders are in space. What do you notice? Has there been any shift? Do you notice if the shoulders are on a level plane? Are they diagonal? Rolling forward, rolling back? Just noticing. Again, there's no right or wrong way to be. It's just about being in your body, being with yourself right now, and observing without judging. And then bring your palms together, bring the chin to your chest, lift your fingertips, open your eyes if they're closed, then give yourself a little pat on the back. I really hope that felt good, and I really hope you felt a shift, some more space, and I am in awe of you for being here and practicing, showing up for yourself. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye.